The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. While we wouldn't suggest taking everything you hear here as gospel truth,
we are all witnesses. Testify.
we try our best to get it right. It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
If you didn't know, COVID cases are back on the rise, with 26 states being rated high or very high.
I just saw that President Biden has COVID as well. It's like, holy cow.
In the state of Tennessee, which we are in, it's considered high.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah. So people who consider themselves very healthy and seem to rarely find themselves sick are being asked to share their tips on how to stay healthy like them. And it turns out most of these tips are super impractical for the majority of the population.
Great.
So take, for instance, they say, well, get 9 hours of sleep every night.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Who could do that? Well, I bet Betty has a pretty good regimen,
but
going to bed at 8.
I would say that it's doable for me because I don't have kids.
Right,
You know,
right.
like I have a full-time job. I have plans with my friends.
Right.
But that's it. So if I have kids, yeah, right, 9 hours is out the door.
Yeah.
Stay away from kids is another tip. So if you have children, well, this is impossible.
Avoid them if you want to live longer.
And then another one that seems ridiculous. Avoid stress.
Oh, yeah.
This
That's
is just, what
that
is this
list, I don't understand that, because every time you go to your doctor, they're like, okay, you got some stuff going on. Yeah. Are you stressed? Well, yes. It's
Yeah,
like,
who isn't?
you're stressed about everything, man.
Right. Well, if you're looking for more practical tips, here are some of them. Eat fruits and vegetables instead of fast food.
Oh, that's just as hard for Wally.
I know. I might as well just be stressed.
Go for a 30-minute walk.
Okay, that's doable for most people.
And then keep an optimistic attitude.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you?
What is this?
They're just trying to kill me. Yeah, that okay.
But I will say, this whole thing is about not getting sick. You're never sick.
I know. I think it's because of
Well-
all the preservatives in my body that I put in there. I think it fights off
I
everything.
would like to correct Gavin and say that you are sick. You just
Once in a
show
while.
up.
Yeah, I'm very rare. I get sick about twice a year, but it's not a kind of sick that keeps me from working. It's not that
Yeah, but
really
nothing
bad
to
sick.
you,
Keeps me from working.
despite death.
Yeah.
And even then,
As much as it
you're
kills you,
gonna try
Rock, I'm
and
going to
figure it
outlive
out.
you all. Everybody needs a little help sometimes, whether it's from a professional or an amateur. Doesn't matter. You're there. It's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM.
Yeah, Wally likes to call himself an amateur first responder. And it's a bit scary because if you think about it, if you're in an emergency situation, you want someone that has knowledge of what's going on to help you. He will sell it like he does, but
Well,
he really doesn't.
And if those people aren't available, you take the next best thing, which is an amateur first responder.
So-
That's right. I think it has a theme song, too.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is it? Okay.
Wally, amateur first responder. Yeah! Amateur first responder. Amateur first responder, Wally.
It's
Amateur
subpar.
first responder.
All right, let me give you the scenario. So recently there was a nurse named Claire. She was waiting at the gate in the airport to take her next flight. And there was a guy standing beside her. He was also waiting on that flight. He was 57-year-old Ken Jeffries. Now, she could tell because she's a nurse. She could tell he was having a heart attack. And she saved his life.
He was probably in distress, maybe even a little cold and clammy.
Okay,
Yes.
here's what I want to ask you
Yes.
because I read the full article.
Okay.
How did she know that Ken was in cardiac arrest?
Well, because Ken was sweating a little bit, and
Was he?
yeah, he was sweating a little bit. He looked disheveled, like you could tell. A lot of times, you can tell from a person's eyes; they just look like they're not there.
Like they're panicking, they're zoned out.
No, like he was more calm and quiet because he didn't know what was happening. He couldn't really process it, and so
Interesting that you say that because
Yeah.
there might be a little bit of truth to that.
Yeah.
Because Claire, the nurse, she said she could tell instantly by the way he was breathing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
something wasn't right. night.
Absolutely. It's a weird, erratic breath.
So
and
what
sometimes
did-
a long hold.
So what did she do?
So she instantly was he wearing a tie? Do we know?
I don't know that.
Okay, see,
Let's
that's-
assume that he doesn't.
Well, I'm going to look at it first case. I'm going to say let's not make sure the airway is obstructed in any way, shape, or form.
Yes,
Let's go ahead and loosen your tie.
Okay, so you're wasting 30
No,
seconds.
I'm
or
real
more.
fast because I'm
Okay.
real good at it.
Okay.
I'm going to sit you down.
Wait, did you explain to the patient why you're taking his
No,
tie off?
I don't have time for that.
Yes.
I don't have time for that. You just have to jump into action. Sir, I'm a trained amateur first responder.
Wow,
Just
okay.
relax, sir.
Well, what Claire did, who
Yes.
is an actual first responder,
Yes.
she indicated to Ken, hey, I believe you're having a heart attack. Do you feel this, this,
Right.
this, and this? And he said, yes, I do. So she grabs the people that are around her
Yeah.
and she instructs them on how to perform CPR on Ken.
Why didn't she just do it?
Well, because maybe she, CPR will take a lot of energy out
Yeah.
of you. Maybe she needed to save her breath and her cognizance
Okay.
to help the people. Then another individual went and grabbed the nearby
The
defibrillator.
AED.
Okay,
yeah.
so you know what that is.
I 100% know
so
what that
what do you
is.
do with the defibrillator?
Well, you first of all you open it up, and then you read all the instructions. You hit it with a hammer, and it opens up partly. Then you rewire what you've just done.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's
and then
scary.
because I'm also an amateur electrician.
Nope. So she says we put the pads on him because
Yes.
it does have electrical
shows
pads
you how to do
inside.
it, too.
Okay. It
Top and left.
indicated a shockable rhythm that
Right.
Ken had. So it shocked him in between while they did compressions.
Yes.
Okay. She ended up saving his life. How did she know when to stop?
Because Ken said, "Hey, I'm good now.
No.
Please stop."
No, that is not
No,
correct.
when it went into regular rhythm, when you could see that was regular
Hey,
rhythm.
that is
Yeah,
correct.
thank
Yes, when she noticed that he had his own heart rhythm
Yeah.
and he was able to breathe on his own.
Yeah.
And then she stayed beside him until paramedics came.
And then what usually happens then is that person disappears quietly. The first responder disappears quietly
Off into the shadows.
the shadows like an angel. What amateur first responders do is you hold a press conference.
Oh,
and that's the
okay.
final step in this. If you're an amateur first responder, final step, make sure you hold your press conference to get all the credit that you are due. That's how you do this.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
We are going to settle it once and for all. Who is smarter, men or women? Right here on the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM. We do this with boys versus girl. It's Betty Rock taking on Gavin and myself. Since it's 2-1, she gets to decide who she wants to face in each question. And if if girls win, probable or not probable.
Probable.
Maybe.
It's probable.
It is probable. It's
happened
possible.
before.
Yeah. Then only girls can call to win a prize after our portion of the game. If guys win, only guys can call. So here we go. Question number 1. Who do you want to take on here? What number president was Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, gosh.
What number
I'll go
president?
with Gavin.
Okay.
Bummer.
Gavin's closer to like school
I
and
know,
learning
I
these
know,
things. So why did
I
you go?
know.
I'm horrible with
I don't
presidents.
know, because you would say, because you don't read books, but you watch a lot of television, you'd be like, I saw a documentary
Yeah,
about
that is true. All right, so
Teddy
here we go.
Roosevelt. What number was he?
Gavin's like counting it in his head. This is the questions that you should know from high school, but
I
you
am
forgot.
going to just really just pull
Yeah, who-
Okay,
a
Betty
number.
Rock, what is your number?
34.
34.
Oh.
Gavin, what is yours?
All right, maybe I am going to take. I was going to go with 35.
Oh,
I
no.
was doing the math on. I'm pretty sure he's in the 90s, right?
He might have overshot.
Or not
Teddy
90s,
Roosevelt?
1900s.
1900s, yeah.
Okay.
Are you going with
I mean,
35?
yeah, I already said it. I have to commit.
Yeah.
Should I have gone lower?
What is it?
Should I have done
What is it?
33?
Say it. What is it?
It is
What?
26. Betty wins by 1 point. Dadgummit, Gavin.
My bad. That math makes no sense.
Okay. What is the hottest temp ever recorded on planet Earth in Fahrenheit? Not Celsius, because who wants to even remotely think about Celsius?
I want to go with you, Wally.
Okay.
Because Gavin has been, he's lived in New Mexico.
Yeah,
he's lived in
he
a lot
knows
of hot
hot.
places.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with you, Wally.
Okay.
The hottest recorded.
I have my answer.
Okay. I'm going to go with 114.
That is impossible. I went with 115. No, I'm just kidding.
No, what?
I think I shot high. I went with 132.
Oh, you should have gone a little
Whoa.
lower.
Because it was 115 just the other day in
I saw
like
120 the other day.
yeah, like I don't know. On planet Earth, the hottest ever. Oh my gosh! I missed it by 2 degrees. It's 134.
Wait, did you overshoot?
No, I'm
No, I
under. I said
132.
132. I missed it by.
Okay.
We got ourselves
Genius.
a game. Thank you very much. Okay,
Nah.
2-2. Final question.
Okay.
How old is the world's oldest cat?
I'll go with Gavin.
Because he's not a
Yeah,
cat
not a
owner.
cat
he's a dog
guy.
owner. Okay.
We
so,
had a cat when I was younger that lived to be 20, so it's got to be.
Okay. Cat's name was Cream Puff, if that
Cream
helps.
All
All right, we're going
Gavin,
to start
you're
with Gavin.
Yeah.
Gavin,
Okay.
how old is the world's oldest cat? This is right in Betty's wheelhouse.
28.
Okay, that's a
It's my
lot.
age.
That's an old cat.
I think it's my age.
Okay,
I went
Betty
with
Lou.
30.
You went 30.
I have a feeling she's gonna be. I think it was a surprisingly old.
Well, Cream Puff
Cream Puff.
lived to be a ripe old age of 38 years and 3 days.
Ew.
No.
Yes,
That is
38 years
awesome.
old.
The last 20 years have to be terrible.
Oh, I know.
No,
Yes.
stop it.
Well, congratulations,
I win. Girls
Betty
win.
Rock. You have
Yeah.
done it. All right, so that means only girls can call right now. You have to be a girl. You can call right now. You're going to get a question about our question. So hopefully you were paying close attention. And if you can get that question right, you will win a prize. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. If you want to play boys versus girls and you're a girl, you can do it right now.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
Oh, I'm so sad to be talking to you, Tatiana. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM. And not because of anything you've done, but because it's boys versus girls. Betty beat the boys, which means only women can call to win a prize. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed and highly favored.
Okay, well, hopefully that will continue in this game. We mentioned how old the oldest cat was, which was 38 years. You probably knew that. But we also mentioned something else about the cat. What was the cat's cholesterol number at the time
We did not
of death?
mention that. No,
What?
Tatiana, don't answer that because he is a cheater. No, we never mentioned that.
Okay, something that we did mention was how many whiskers did he
We
have
never
left?
mentioned that either. Okay, let me just take over. This is
No.
ridiculous. What was the name of the cat that lived to be 38?
Peter.
What?
Peter?
Peter?
Peter the cat?
Yes, was it Peter?
No, it was Cream Puff.
No, Tatiana! Where were you? Where did you get Peter?
I was in the car. I heard 38 years old, but I don't know where I heard Peter. Peter Puff? It wasn't Peter Puff?
No, it was Cream Puff.
Oh.
You know what? Maybe because she was in the car, it's hard to hear sometimes. So she probably thought she heard Peter Puff instead of Cream Puff. I could see that happen. You know what? I'm feeling very, very generous today. I'm going to let that one slide, lady.
Wow, what a hero. Thanks, Wally.
And
Wow.
this is why, even when we lose, boys still win. So congratulations, Tatiana.
Do
You're
not
a winner
accept
today.
the-
Oh, Tatiana hung up.
Good for her. Good for her. We stand in solidarity.
I don't need your charity.
Yeah.
Betty's love of crime shows has me concerned because I think that she's not learning how to protect herself, but rather how to set me up for a crime.
Oh, I for sure am.
It's a Gone Girl situation is what I'm thinking.
I'm glad I've got you right where I want you.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. You know, you need someone in your life that will set you up for success, not failure.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt with CCU. I mean, I felt intimidated considering going back to school as an adult after being out for so long, but I was set up for success with CCU from my first conversation all the way to graduation. Most classes are only 5 weeks long, which means you can earn your degree and still have time to do whatever you want.
Yeah, 5-week classes, that's even good for people with like ADHD. Like for
Like
me,
you.
I know I needed short classes so I could focus when I went back to school because Betty Rock and I kind of lived the same life.
Find out more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner.
Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Wally.
If you've ever wondered what grocery stores do with leftover food, such as like pre-made salads or baked goods or, you know, fruit, that kind of stuff, sometimes it gets donated to local food charities, but more often than not, it just gets thrown out.
No.
Yes, I know, it goes to waste. So Whole Foods is trying to change that, and it could actually save you some money. Imagine saving money at Whole Foods.
Impossible.
I don't think it's ever been done before. And so this is a new idea to challenge that. So now, if you just keep, well, I've been to Whole Foods. We have one near us. I don't really go into them much. I go to return Amazon things sometimes because the parking lot alone drives me nuts with giant SUVs, almost getting hit by some soccer mom who's late for her Pilates class.
And a Gen Zer that's stuck on their phone and they're not looking where they're going.
Needed some last-minute Greek yogurt, so... This is a rousing success. Whole Foods has partnered with a company called Too Good To Go, and starting this week, shoppers will be able to purchase surprise bags filled with pre-selected surplus food items.
Oh, my goodness.
At more than 450 markets across the U.S. But you've got to use the Too Good To Go app. So it's a partnership with a third-party company.
I think this is a great idea because food shouldn't be going to waste, and I hope that Whole Foods has started something that maybe other grocery store chains will want to do themselves.
Yeah, you can choose between either prepaid food surprise bags that contain soups and ready-to-eat meals. That's only $9.99. So at Whole Foods, that is a deal. It's a $30 value, they say. Or you can get a bakery surprise bag, which features breads, muffins, scones, and cookies, priced at a whopping $6.99.
No.
Yes, like how great is that?
Wow.
And then there's another bag for sugar-free candy. No one wants that. No one would want that bag at all. So, again, if you think that this is a good idea, it's the Too Good To Go app. You can download that and see if it works for you. But I think it is, like Betty said, I think it's a good idea to eliminate some of the waste and also really help you save a little bit of money, too, at Whole Foods. A friend of mine sent me a little clip of audio that he thought would be interesting for the show, and it definitely is. It involves going to church, a new church that you haven't been to before. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM. And when you go there, like my daughter just started it, and she tried a new church last week, and she was telling us about it, and she's like, I'm not sure. Like, I liked the music, and I did like the preacher, but as I walked in, a lady came up and hugged me, and I don't know her, and I'm like, it's a friendly church.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? How broken are you? And I was giving her a hard time about it. I'm like, would you rather be ignored, at church? It's one of those things like when you walk into a store, you want people to just know how you want to be treated, but they don't. So they've either got to approach you, and then you're like, hey, whoa, back off. Or if they don't, you're like, wow, you're standoffish.
Right.
It feels like a lot of places can't win.
It's tough. There has to be a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, and so this one church, though, for new people, there's always that moment, hey, if you're new, if you just, if you want to raise your hand, or we're going to send a basket by, and you can just drop that card in it, let us know who you are kind of thing. This church took it to a whole new level.
We got a newbie in the house, a newbie in the house, a newbie in the house. We got a newbie in the house, a newbie in the house, a newbie in the house. Hey, we got a newbie in the house, a newbie in the house.
Can you imagine standing there and like the pastor's like, hey, got a newbie, like right there.
So he's singing this from the stage.
Yeah.
This new person.
Yeah.
It's like, yep,
got a
new.
newbie. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey you.
Okay, as speaking as an extrovert, Wally.
Yeah.
How would that make you feel?
It's weird because like over the top church stuff wigs me out a little bit. Like, because I've been at churches before too where they would do like dramas of messages and like, oh, that's a little off, and dancing and dance teams and stuff. That stuff just doesn't sit with me personally. I get it. I'm not bashing it, but just for me personally, it makes me go, oh, this would make me go, oh.
Oh, even as an
extrovert.
Well, Gavin, as an introvert, what would you say?
They wouldn't know that I was new. Like, I wouldn't have broadcast that,
right?
Like, for fear of this.
Yeah, you wouldn't even raise your hand.
I'd be sliding down in my seat trying to escape.
Have you ever been to church with someone and like you brought them to church and they're like, oh, hey, just raise your hand if you're new, and then they don't, and then you start pointing at them? Have you done that?
No.
I've done that.
That's so mean. Wow.
So, all right, let's do a little 5 calls on this here. If something like that were to happen, something big and over the top, if you were new, would that be welcoming or weird? Like, because I think some people would be like, man, that's awesome. It's fun, and they're having fun with it. They take the weirdness out of it, but other people will probably be like, that is beyond weird to me. So that's the thing, man. We're all a little bit different. We're wired differently in our churches. That's why we have so many churches, because they connect with us in different ways.
And they sing to us in different ways.
Exactly. So what is your opinion on this? We'll do a little 5 calls. Calls at 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. Weird or welcome? How do you feel about the Newbie song? If you were there as a newcomer, would this make you feel welcome or would it be weird?
I actually had that happen. It wasn't the Newbie song per se, but it was another song that the whole congregation sang to you while you stood there, and I never went back.
Really? Okay, so that was off-putting to you, even though their heart's in the right place. They're trying to make you feel welcome and have fun with it. We're not standoffish, and so that's a good thing, but sometimes the idea and the execution don't match.
Barb, what would you wish that they had done?
I do like that they say hello, hi. If they get the chance how you're doing, I think that's great. Honestly, what got me back to God and going was the ministry that called you later. And I had a wonderful woman in Indiana, Dory Arrington. She was the best. And she called to say, hey, we've been seeing you a couple weeks. How you doing? And that was enough of the kick in the pants that I needed to get my hiney back in church and recommit myself to Christ.
It's funny because some people might see the follow-up as, oh, boy, you're being pushy. Like, I don't know that I would like the follow-up. If I went there, and then I think the follow-up would make me go, ooh, kind of like a telemarketer. But see, again, that's just a perfect example of how things land differently with each of us, and it's really hard for churches to navigate that. I don't think you can go wrong with being polite.
And also, where's the bathrooms? Where do I take my children? Like, that's such a big part of walking in a place and not knowing where to go. That's
Information.
very, very
right. Yeah, that's really helpful, too, because, you don't know. Well, Barb, I appreciate you being on the show with us today and giving us your insight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
It's time for another installment of Wally's Marriage Masterclass. As an expert in the field with 32 years of life experience, no degrees.
That's a huge deal. 32 years of your wife just...
She's a saint.
Fighting.
Learning to navigate stuff, So we were talking about this in one of our small groups, that God made women to be helpmates. In Genesis 2:18, it says, it's not good, the Lord says, it's not good for men to be alone. I will make him a helper that is just right for him. And I know in this modern society, there's this whole thing about roles, and you don't want to put all these roles on people, and it's wrong to, make them just this. I think when God gives us roles, there's always responsibility for both people in that, like wives submit to your husbands, but husbands love your wives as God loved the church. And so it's a give and take. And so I do believe that women have a helper gene inside of them. And I think our society tries to deny a lot of things that are innate in us. It doesn't mean they're less than. It just means women like to help a lot. Sometimes when it's not needed,
I will admit, speaking as a woman, I do have that helper gene inside of me. I mean, I would love to find someone that I can marry. He's already got his thing going, and I can just step in and help him with that.
Exactly. So, okay, I had my own marriage masterclass moment the other day where I got it wrong. My wife had been gone for a week, and I was getting up and getting ready for the day, and she said, it's going to be 56 degrees outside. I said, yeah, I know. And she said, oh, I just thought you needed to know because you have a short sleeve shirt on. Mind you, it was a short sleeve hoodie sweatshirt, so it was going to keep me warm.
What about your forearm?
But that's beside the point. Exactly. So I say, it was the weirdest thing that happened to me last week. Oh, really? What? We're communicating now. I was getting ready, and I was fine all week, and because she just hit me on the wrong day with it, and I was feeling snarky, and I responded to her not in kindness. I responded with sarcasm. And marriage masterclass, not a good way to go about it. I can promise you this. And it hurt her feelings. And that's the thing, man. She's trying to help me. So many things in our lives. We've been married for so long. Like if I'm speeding, she's like, oh, hey, the speed limit's only 70 here. Yeah, I'm well aware. But her point is, well, I'm just trying to help you because I know if you get a ticket, then you'll be upset. And so it's always with my good in mind, but I don't always want someone to look out for my good because it feels like you are babysitting me.
Okay, so then maybe now, hearing what you have to say, I
Yeah.
might should change the name of the texting group that I've
Oh,
created.
that's right.
Between
yes.
your wife, me, and you, Wally.
Yeah.
And it's called Wally's Babysitters.
Yeah.
Because this man, you
Yeah.
speak as women that want to help.
Yeah.
This man, at 55 years old, needs the help of 2 grown
Yeah.
women to keep him going.
Well, here's the advice for men in the marriage masterclass today. If your wife wants to help, let them help. They were created that way. Like, it fulfills something in them when they are helping you. And now, if it's things that you don't really need help on, that's fine. Just be kind about it. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for always looking out for me. That's because sometimes I don't always look out for myself. So I appreciate you. Like, just let them help and show appreciation for that help. It will make your life so much better than going the sarcasm route or you're trying to control me, versus help me. Because I think guys see it very differently. And so there you go. That's a little marriage masterclass tip for fellas today. They were wired to help you. Just let them help you.
If you love the music on Way FM,
This is probably like my favorite.
but have heard a new song and want to know more, here's what's new on Way.
With What's New on Way, we like to focus on a new song hitting the airwaves and talk about the story behind it. And this time we're talking about Brandon Lake. He's made a name for himself being featured in songs with Maverick City Music, as well as Chris Tomlin. I mean, he's with the big wigs. And Elevation Worship with their song Graves into Gardens.
Yeah, he definitely was one of the breakouts from that whole thing. He's great.
Yeah, and he came out with his first solo album back in 2020 and now has a new album out. This one is called Miracle Child. So, I mean, already it sounds like it could be a powerful song. Here's Brandon to explain the story behind the song.
There's an opening lyric and it says, I shouldn't be alive. And the truth is, that's my story. My parents had 6 miscarriages. I shouldn't be alive, but they clung to the promise that they knew God had spoken over them, that they would be parents. And I'm the firstborn. So I want this song to be an encouragement to you that you too are a miracle child. There's nothing too impossible for our God.
So there you have it. Brandon Lake doing his song Miracle Child right here on Way FM.
I shouldn't be alive. My future was 6 feet under, 1 foot in the grave, no hope to be saved. I shouldn't be alive, but I'm a miracle child.
With so much drama in the news,
I hate drama, so there you go.
You love drama.
I know I do, right?
this is a drama-free zone. It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
What you got, Gavin?
I think it's safe to say that within this room, each and every one of us loves the app TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. One of the most entertaining things that we've had over the last 4 or 5 years. But there's also, with TikTok existing, at the same time, there's always been the existence of the TikTok needs to get banned, or it's going to get banned.
I get it because of the whole like politics of it and stuff like that. Like, I understand that. But I got to tell you, like, as a platform, I was first like resistant to it because there's a lot of garbage
like he
on
is
it
with
too.
everything.
I am when it comes to like social media stuff. But man, there's a lot of funny stuff on it. But I have found and played so many like faith-based clips in this thing that people are like, man, where'd you get that? That's really good. Like it's given me new perspectives on different faith things too. So yeah, I like it.
It's great. And there's, this poll I found that said that kind of, the people over the age of 65 are totally fine with TikTok getting banned, whereas then you have the Gen Zers, which, I'd say that I'm close to. Most of us say, like, no, obviously we don't want that to go away. We use it for entertainment, connecting with friends. But apparently, I also found out that a lot of my generation, the younger generation, turns to TikTok for medical advice, wellness, dieting, fitness advice. And I'm reading this, I'm like, I actually 100% identify with that because a few years ago, I lost a bunch of weight because I found a guy who basically put this little formula together for, you want to lose this much weight, you want to eat this much protein.
Was it the V-Shred guy?
No.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
That's
unattainable.
That guy is cheap.
Yeah, that's unattainable, man. Like you look at that guy, you're like, what?
Honestly, I see the benefits in this because it can be hard for the younger generation to find time to go to their doctor, or they're too scared to even call a doctor's office and put in a.
Yeah, they're socially.
That is really
anxious.
funny.
They're like socially awkward with the phone. And they're like, I need to make an appointment.
I don't know. Can I just do it online? No, you have to talk to somebody. My anxiety.
Yes. So maybe this is a solution. You know, it gets them the help that they need. But then again, China is looking at everything you're posting.
Yeah.
So is it a deal
my bigger
breaker?
concern would be, is the information right? You know, like that's the biggest thing. So I think.
Wait a minute.
What?
Sir.
What?
You speak out all the time without finding any facts to go with what you're speaking about.
Because I'm my own internal barometer and I know I'm right. And so
wow.
No, but like when you're looking at like serious things like medical stuff, yeah, definitely I would check a couple sources. Just like getting a second opinion, I wouldn't make TikTok my be all end all.
No, I wouldn't. But I think it's totally fine for exercise. I mean, I use it for finding like healthy recipes all the time. Yeah. So I think it's perfectly fine for those. And then you test them, and if they work well, they work well. Maybe they don't work for you. I would say, medical advice, have a doctor that you go to see that knows you, has your record, instead of maybe someone who could be a fake doctor.
I haven't heard much about banning TikTok recently, and so I'm curious if in the new election cycle will that come back up regardless of how it turns out. I'm curious if that will still be a hot button issue, or did like the powers that be go, oh, I love this dance craze, and now they're all in, you know? Kids are a blessing. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM. But they can also undo you quickly, too.
Yeah, so recently, I went and helped Joy. She does our middays here on Way FM. She's got 2 little kids under the ages of 5. I went over there because she had been talking about how her husband wanted to bring people over, but she was embarrassed about the condition of the home and how the kids had just wrecked the whole place. And I love cleaning. So I thought, Joy, I'll come over there and I'll help you clean. And I mean, we did it.
Nice.
We got even the carpet shampooer thing out.
Okay.
Like, we took Mr. Clean erasers to the wall. Like, we deep cleaned that place.
Okay.
And it looked fantastic. Anyways, skip ahead to the next day. I get a text from Joy, and it's just a video. And it's a video of the pile of dirt that her son brought in that had bugs inside of it. And then her daughter, who had decided to take her yogurt cup and just throw it face down onto the carpet that we had just shampooed.
Oh.
And it was like, what was the point in us even trying?
Yep, they just, in that just few moments, they undid everything that you had done.
We had made so much progress.
Yeah.
But the kids set us back.
Welcome to it.
Big time.
Welcome to it. That's what kids do. They set you back in life.
And I'm sure that they, like, if you are a parent of children, then you've seen this firsthand. Maybe it hasn't been with cleaning, but it's been in other areas where you were making progress on something, then your kids got involved, and now you're back
so
down.
happy, like you just washed your car. You're like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. And then you hear this loud as your kid pulls in and dings your car.
It could be that.
Happened to me.
Or maybe you're like been working on your savings, and then all of a sudden your wife is like, guess who's pregnant?
Oh my goodness.
And we made so much progress. Here we go.
Now we're going backwards.
That's Gavin's experience.
I know. Yeah. All of this, like, we're laughing about it. Like, it's fun. Like, for me, it's all in the rear view. And Betty doesn't have kids. And, like, Gavin is staring down the face of having a kid, like, in weeks. Oh, it's terrifying, Gavin. You'll be fine.
Can't
all right,
wait.
so 855-33-WAY-FM. We love having you on the show with us. And so that's the number you can call to be on. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'd love to know what you did that your kid undid, okay? So that thing, like, you were like, we nailed it. We're so proud of this. And then before you know it, your kid just completely set you back. 855-33-WAY-FM. And don't worry about freaking Gavin out. He's already freaked out. It's fine. 855-33-WAY-FM.
So, Marcy, when was the time that your kids ruined your progress?
I had purchased my first brand new automobile at 40 years old. So I get it home, and in less than a week, my son had went outside and was playing golf, quote unquote, in the yard, and hit the ball, and it directly put a dent in the driver's side door and then bounced and hit the side mirror and shattered it.
When you have a new car, you try to baby that thing and keep it safe and keep it from harm. No scratches, no nothing. I will tell you this. Your son did you a huge favor.
How?
Because now you don't have to worry about it anymore. You spend every day worrying if your car's going to get dinged at the grocery store. Now, once you have a dent in it and you got a busted side mirror, you're like, all right, fine, do your worst. Like, no one else can do anything worse to it.
We're having this conversation on our Facebook page. Michelle, she said, I was painting, and when I walked out of the finished room that I just finished painting, both of my kids got in there and started painting each other and made imprints of one another in another room that wasn't even getting painted.
Kids love painting, and like you have to send your kids away. Like if you're gonna paint something, send them away to like grandparents or somebody, or just to church and like let them go to the small group or something.
Right. Michelle said her big suggestion was don't ignore the silence, which is so true. And then Krista, she said, I lost 10 pounds, and then I found out I was pregnant with my second.
Oh, that's the worst, because that 10 pounds is coming back plus some.
Yeah, and it's tough to lose weight, especially as a woman, and so to make that loss of 10 pounds, man, that's a huge accomplishment. But then you're like...
Yeah, we're going backwards. 10 pounds forward, 20 pounds back.
Yep. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. It's what your People magazine would sound like with a Southern accent. It's The Rock Report with Betty Rock.
I think most parents want to create a close bond with their children, and Glen Powell, he's the star in the upcoming film Twisters, which is the sequel to the 1996 hit movie Twister. His parents have done a great job at creating that bond and keeping it strong even as their son climbs the Hollywood ladder. Glen's parents have made an appearance in every one of his films, including Top Gun Maverick and the most current one, Twisters.
No way. He was great in Top Gun Maverick, by the way. I like this guy. I can never remember his name, but I do like him.
Yeah, in the scene in Twisters, I guess midway through the movie, Glen's character goes to a rodeo, and his parents are actually spectators as well, and they're sitting right behind him.
That's fun.
And Glen admits that he and his family are tight-knit, consisting of him, an older sister, and a younger sister, and his mom and dad. And he stated in an interview that his parents have always been very supportive in anything he or his sisters ever participated in. And as if making guest appearances in their son's films wasn't enough, his parents will also show up to red carpet events with him.
Nice.
Sometimes invited, sometimes not, because sometimes they're on their best behavior, and sometimes they bring handmade signs to the carpet to hold behind their son that say things like, why is this guy famous?
Oh, that's funny.
Stop trying to make Glen a thing.
Oh, that's funny. I like the self-deprecation of that. Now, Betty Rock, speaking as a single lady, if you were meeting somebody whose parents were that involved in their lives, is that something that you go, oh, that's cool, I've got a new extended family? And or is it like, oh, you need to like not be so into your family?
I'm okay with it, but I'm also speaking as a single girl who is an only child. So to me, family is important. I'm close to my parents, and so I would love it if he's close to his as well. So
but what if he needs you to be closer to his parents than your parents?
Well, then we got a problem.
Then I will be single, sir. You're not going to change my life, even if you are Glen, whoever your last name is. Powell?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, what's this? An email? For me?
Wally at wayfm.com is how you can email me. And I love when people email me about something they've heard on the show. And that was the case for Mary. Mary said, hey, good day. Hope all is well with you. I just wanted to thank you for using my story on your show and the podcast for the Good News Giddy Up. Remember when I was talking about Good News Giddy Up the other day, and it was the lady who was incarcerated, but then had a program that would let her go to an Ivy League school where she was studying coding and was able to change her life around? Mm-hmm. Apparently, she listens to this show.
No way!
Wow.
Like, how great is that?
That's pretty cool.
I was like really excited to hear from her. She says, "Yeah, I did in fact go from prison to Princeton. I owe it all to God. Jesus transformed me into a new person, and I'm just trying to be obedient. He's opened all these doors that I could never have dreamed of. Thank you again for your good news story."
Very cool.
Yeah,
so neat.
I was
That
like,
is very cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I love when people in the news like listen to this show. Then this one from DJ Jane. We were talking the other day about having a wake-up song on your phone, and do people still do that anymore versus just an alarm? And she was like, I actually have 3. I have The Goodness of God by Toby Mac, then I go to Big God by Tarian, and if I can't get up, this is my last final get up, last chance before I call in sick, it's Monster by Skillet.
That'll get you up.
Yeah, that'll get you up. That gets my blood going right now. It feels so good. I miss me some Skillet. There you go. If you were a little sluggish before, you are no longer. There you go. That's going to do it for your email. If you ever want to hit me up, it's just Wally at wayfm.com. It is great owning a home, but with that comes some expenses. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM, and things you need to buy for your home. You got to have a ladder at some point in time, and just things you don't think about. But boy, when it comes to home repairs, yikes, it can be expensive.
Yeah, and they always say, as a renter, you need to buy. And I get it, but it is helpful, and it is nice when something is broken, I ain't got it.
Not my
this
problem.
Ain't my problem.
Exactly. Like I had my AC, and in the summer you don't want your AC to go out, obviously. So I had my AC having some problems, and the guy comes out and is like, well, if it's this, it's $400. I'm like, okay. If it's this, it's $800. Like, oh no,
it's worse.
And if we got to change everything, it's $10,000.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Big jump.
That was 2 people that rent right there. Whoa! And me, I'm like, yeah, it's horrible, but I'm like, yeah, like to replace your whole AC system, it's brutal. And so my house is like 12 years old now, and so the things start to break. So this is what I want to do, because you heard both Gavin and Betty go, whoa, like shocked. I want to play a game called Home Improvement Price is Right, okay? So I want you to call and tell us what home improvement you are doing or have done, what you need to have done to your house, like what repair, basically. And then don't tell anyone the price just yet. And I'll have Betty, Gavin, and myself ask, and we're going to see who can get closest to without going over to the actual repair bill that your thing cost you. Could have been water damage, mold remediation, who knows, AC units, I don't know, roof, all that stuff gets super expensive. And I'm real curious to see if Gavin and Betty have any concept, like a kid with money, like how much money is that? Oh, that's $1 million, but when you haven't owned a home before, you don't always know what things cost, and so I'm curious how they'll do in this. So what is your home repair bill for something that you've had done, but don't tell us the price, and we'll play with you right now. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. It is expensive to own a home with the repairs, and I don't think Gavin and Betty fully understand how much something costs. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM, so we're going to play Home Repair Price is Right. Who's this?
I am Allison. How are you guys?
Good, Allison. So now all we need you to do is tell us what repair, don't tell us the price, but tell us what repair you are having done or had done.
We are working on having our fireplace repaired.
Okay, repair a fireplace. I've had fireplaces before in my houses. I never use them, and usually mine are gas. So this was a log burning one or a gas one?
No, this is wood burning.
Wood burning. Okay, so you've got the flue to deal with and all of the inside. You have to have them cleaned and serviced. Okay, so you're having it repaired. let's go here and see Betty Rock, based on what you know about fireplaces.
I don't know anything, though. Wouldn't it be better if you go first?
No, because then you guys can judge based on what I say. This is designed to see what you think a fireplace
because we don't know
repair
the
would
extent
cost.
of the damage.
Okay, that's fair. So what happened, Allison?
So the house was built in 89.
Okay.
So it's a few years old. And we are 1 inch off of being up to code.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when you start repairing something, you then have to bring it up to code.
Because, see, you think it's a little job, and then it turns out to be a lot bigger. I'm going to say, oh, gosh, I have no idea. I'm going to go with $10,000.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
That's a big guess. Okay, Gavin.
I went with a little bit lower because I've watched enough HGTV to hopefully make a solid guess at this. $8,500.
$8,500. Okay, I came in lower than both of you guys. I came in at $5,000, and here's why. If it was $10,000, you just board up your fireplace. You're like, I'm not gonna have a fireplace. It does not matter. We will seal that with cement. $8,000. You think about it, but you're still like, no, that's not worth it. I'll roast marshmallows in a fire pit outside. So I am going in at $5,000. So where did you land, Allison?
We're right around $7,000.
$7,000. Price is Right rules are in effect.
Oh.
Closest to without going over. Betty and Gavin overshot it. Although I'm sure Allison was like, I'd like your bid better at $5,000.
Yeah, $7,000.
Amen.
I mean, does that sound like a lot to you, Allison? Did you think it would be that much?
I was expecting it a little bit lower, but we've also had to renovate the entire rest of the house.
Yeah,
So-
you love that house then, because at that point I'd be like, honey, let's move. Let's just go get a new house.
We actually just moved into the house 2 years ago.
Oh, and so then you get hit with all these extra costs. That is no fun. Well, I hope that the repair goes well and that you have wonderful warm nights this winter in front of your brand new $7,000 fireplace.
Oh, gosh.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, guys. Have a blessed day.
I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
So every day after we finish our regular show here, this is the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM, by the way, we do what we call the Aftercast. It's a podcast of new stuff that we didn't do, sometimes longer form stuff, life stuff, all that kind of thing. And it tends to be very popular. I all I can tell you is that millions of people listen to it every year. So it's like, okay, great. I personally don't get it, but I'm loving the fact that people enjoy it. And so if you want to get a taste of it, it's very simple.
Text the letters TWS, that stands for The Wally Show, TWS, to 91979, and we will send you a link.
Recently on a podcast, we actually got into a serious topic about why celebrities bottom out, because like when you attain all the world tells you will make you happy and you still aren't, what do you do with that? And then Gavin actually remembered a quote that he had heard from one of his heroes, and he chose to share that. And I was moved.
It was you.
Yeah, I was moved. Well, we don't have to say that, but it was beautiful.
Faith is the intangible that fame forgets.
That's a great quote. That is a really great quote. Yeah. Let's write that down. Let's do a quote bit tomorrow of things that I've said that have inspired people. That happened earlier in the show today.
Too busy inspiring people.
I know, right? It's crazy. Like somebody called and said something that I had said on the show, like really meant something to them and helped them see their faith different. And Betty just rolled her eyes. Oh. She hates it. Hates it when
she doesn't hate that good
God
things
moments.
come from your abilities, but
it's a perfect example that God can use literally anyone. He used a donkey, he can use Wally. It's one and the same. I think the part that I hate is that the donkey had one chance to talk and it was over and done. Whereas with Wally, it's not just one and done.
Yeah, and there's the humility. While Gavin idolizes me, Betty Rock tolerates me.
Just keep you humble.
That's it. Hey, if you want to check out the Aftercast, you can do it. It's every day. It's brand new content every day. Text TWS, that's TWS, those letters, to 91979. It is completely free, and you can check it out. If you like the show, you might like this because it goes even deeper.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.